Hello, this is Matt, and I'm here with the scoreboard. But this video is to talk about something a little bit different. It's the day before the inauguration, and what we have is possibly two or three events, depending on how you look at them, which may have the biggest impact on the next 4 years, and I believe have largely been overlooked as far as their significance in the political arena. So why don't we move on and take a look at this? Oh, and before we do, what we've got is MAGA in the lead right now. There's another video that goes through what's happened. But between the election and the inauguration, this is where we are. MAGA's in the lead, Republicans right behind, Democrats. It looks like they're far behind, but they have gained a lot of ground since the election. They have actually gained a lot in the last 30 days, and even in the last since the last count. So let's take a look at what we're talking about here. We're going to go down to the Republicans, the Democrats, and these are the events we're going to just talk about for a quick moment here. OpenAI has decided to fund, and this was announced on January the 15th, decided to fund the expansion of Axios into 4 cities in the US. Now, it's quite clear that CNN and all of the ABC, NBC, CBS, all of these networks, cable news networks and traditional medias, they really only have viewership of people that are above 50. And if you really look at it close, their viewers are 60 and over. People that are younger, they don't pay any attention to it, and that is what it is. I'm not here to debate that, but this was really a weak point for the Democratic Party and the left as a whole, is that they could not get their messaging to the right people. They got it to people who voted, but they know that there's no future for a party that skews to over 60. There's not much future with that. And they really haven't been able to effectively reach the people that are in social media. So what does this have to do with Axios? Axios is left-leaning. They can say they're neutral, they're not. And the right doesn't pay any attention to them. The left does. That's fine. But this partnership that they announced will do two things. It's going to allow Axios to function more like a CNN as far as how quickly they're able to produce content, as far as having actual feet on the ground, people on the ground to cover stories. No one knows exactly how much OpenAI is giving to Axios, but we have to assume it's substantial. And actually, the head of Axios said it is substantial, even though there's no actual financial data being disclosed. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to provide ChatGPT, OpenAI's ChatGPT, with data directly from their newsfeed. So we have to assume, and I think it's a safe assumption, that Axios's data will be considered more important, higher weighted than any other news media that is out there. So what's the impact of that? Is that when people are using ChatGPT, and you have a very broad reach of all ages that are using ChatGPT, when they go to question whether or not something's real or unreal, never mind the fact checkers, all of that data that's been ingested by ChatGPT from Axios is what it's going to shoot out. And that is strategically brilliant. So although the left hasn't figured out how to really get into social media yet. I believe probably they've got something cooking, but this is a very good step. The Google, on the other hand, if we come down to Google's partnership with Associated Press to feed Gemini, which is the equivalent of ChatGPT for Google, they're doing the same thing. They're going to feed. They've had a long partnership that's gone on, I believe, for more than 10 years with Google. But to have the Associated Press's information fed directly into Gemini, it accomplishes the same thing. Broad reach. Everybody uses Google, but that broad reach to people of all ages, and the same thing that's happening with ChatGPT and Gemini is that you're establishing a foundational knowledge based on news that will be used for decision making and for perspective. So it's the ultimate in information warfare, and probably the right should have gotten to at least OpenAI, and at a minimum they probably would not have invited the CEO of Google or OpenAI if they had known that this was cooking. They wouldn't have invited them to the inauguration. But hey, both of those were announced on January the 15th. OpenAI adding a BlackRock member to their board. This is another important one. I'm not going to give it too much. But it matters because it shows a direction. BlackRock, they are the spearhead for. They own at least 6% of every major media outlet. And where we are with OpenAI, it's not really clear how this fits into the media landscape just yet. But to announce that OpenAI is funding Axios and to put a member from BlackRock on the board within 24 hours, it implies that there is a direction there. Okay, it implies that BlackRock has they are funders of everything that has to do with the left's message. They also fund Fox. There is no debate about that. But they are not. They are heavily weighted on the liberal side. So these are the three things that I believe are not completely overlooked. Obviously, people in finance are paying attention to these, but they should be taken into account about how the landscape is going to be different the day that Trump steps into office. The playing field will change. Information warfare will change. And the ability of the left to reach people they want to reach is not going to be the same as it was before. So there you have it. That'll wrap it up. And just remember, one day this war is going to end. All right, take care.